Blue Dragon questline? That's Blue Dragonflight questline? I kind of want to do that. I'm going to do this.
Good to see you again.
Greetings, Dildo Wing. While I continue to search for the remaining blue dragons, I could use your aid in another matter. Alex Straza and I plan on laying to rest the remaining essences of Malagos and Sindragosa. She has held on to their lingering essences after both were slain years ago. Senegos said there was a time where dragons would be laid to rest in the Veiled Ossuary. Unfortunately, the place is a mess. He's gone ahead to clean the area up with Stellagosa. Could you aid them? Are you keeping that name long term?
Senegos should be within the Veiled
Kind of made it
Ossuary
as a
now.
meme.
Alex Straza and I will be joining you shortly.
I haven't changed it. Haven't had to change it.
Malagos and Sindragosa both suffered.
I'm not paying
violent
fucking money to
deaths
change
in
it,
their lifetime.
so-
The least we can do is put their remaining essences to rest.
Grandfather, surely you could rest and leave the cleaning of this place to someone else.
Allow an old dragon a bit of nostalgia. I used to be the keeper of this place, and I was younger than you. The blue dragon.
I'm here to help you, Senegos.
But a shadow
Can you tell me more of this place?
former glory.
It's fascinating to be standing in this place. I've heard so many stories about this area.
Fair
from Grandpa.
skies and strong winds.
The Veiled Ossuary is where we used to bury our dead. Us dragons live quite a long time, but old age does eventually take us all. Though the aspects play by different rules. I imagine Caligos told you he plans to put to rest the last essences of Sindragosa and Malagos. No problem, dude. Thanks for hanging out. Well, we can't do that if the Veiled Ossuary is a mess, now can we?
Do what you must to save the world, hero. May the wisdom of the Titans guide you.
The Veiled Ossuary. I was given the task to be a sort of gravekeeper, which included keeping wildlife away from the area. I had a rather fun spell split up within several tomes kept within this place to deal with such pests. I had a rather fun... Oh, whoops, I just read that. The other blue dragons did not approve of my reckless methods, so I had to keep the tomes hidden. Here, allow me to cast a spell on you to grant you the sight to find these old tomes. Once they're all gathered, we can cleanse this place of the invasive wildlife.
There is great power.
I remember having
in you.
so much fun rolling these creatures up
Use
with
it
my spells.
wisely.
Unfortunately, I fear these old bones will not let me move as quickly as I once did. I would love for you to give it a shot. Let me live vicariously through you. The more creatures you roll up, the bigger the ball becomes. The bigger the ball, the bigger the creature you can roll out. Speak to me, and I shall give you one of my special arcane balls to roll up the creatures around here. What?
The Dragonflight.
Give me your
will
arcane balls,
rise
Senegos.
again.
I have so many memories of this place, though I fear I've forgotten far more than I remember.
May the wisdom of the Titans.
Oh yeah, roll them up, dude. We're snowballing these bugs. Very cool.
You're getting the hang of it now. I spent so much time rolling up creatures in my youth.
Grandfather, this seems highly inefficient. Don't you have spells to clear the creatures out instantly?
Oh, my dear Stellagosa. When you live as long as we do, you must sometimes favor enjoying life over being efficient.
I admit the charm is growing on me a bit.
This is what the Titans did to the Black Empire. They made a big arcane snowball and they rolled them all up and then they stuck them in prisons. This, like a Hoover vacuum. Oh!
Very good. Bring the ball closer to the top tomb entrance and launch it into the sky.
And that's how the moons were created. That's how Yasharaj got in the moon. Just like that. And then once it was up in the sky, they built a moon prison around it, and that's where Elune came from. We solved the mystery. What the fuck did I just watch?
Blue dragons frowned upon your ball escapades. Why were you allowed to continue doing it?
Malagos was quite amused by it. He even joined me a few times, when time allowed it. And when he was a much more light-hearted aspect.
I am the oldest of my kind. There is great power within you. Use it wisely.
We will be joined shortly by Caligos and Alexstrasza. Before then, I have a request. There was a tradition to have gravestones set before your death. It allowed you to choose where you would rest when you passed. It was the job of the caretakers to update the gravestones and deposit the lingering essence of Arcana at the site. Is that what those things are? Before our guests join us, would you help me in this task? Take this list and these graves. Update the existing graves and place the new ones. Update the gravestones of the departed blue dragons.
Do what?
Grandfather, why are you still tasked with updating these graves? Surely it should go to younger drakes.
Young Caligos was insistent I rest. But I have been waiting for a very long time to return here and clean this place. These graves deserve to be updated. It is not good for the dead to be left without rest.
Malagos. Alive. Aspect of magic. Sindragosa. Deceased. Neltharion's betrayal. Umbral skull. Alive. Arcane student. Eldragosa. Alive. Arcane teacher. Update. Gravestone. Damn.
I believe
I saw your name on one of the
help
gravestones.
each other.
Most of the blue dragons on there had passed. Who were they? Those were my family and friends. Many were lost to Neltharion's betrayal. Some, sadly, were lost afterwards. There was a time where I thought about their faces every day. I must admit, in my old age, I've forgotten what many of them even look like. Do not linger on that sad thought. There will come a time where I shall see them once again.
I believe it is time for a nap. I am the oldest of my kind.
Can you tell me more about Malagos? Of course. The Malagos that you may have heard was the former dragon aspect of the blue dragons. His mind was broken when the majority of our flight was slaughtered by Neltharion 10,000 years ago. Not so long ago, Malagos came to his senses and promptly sought to destroy all mages within Azeroth, believing they had no right to wield arcane power. Unwilling to change his mind, he was killed. Sometime later, young Calicos was chosen to replace Malagos as Aspect. But before the madness, before Neltharion, he was jovial, kind. Malagos and Sindragosa had many large gatherings within the Azure Span. I miss those days of levity, when laughter echoed in the mountains of the Azure Archives.
The Dragonflights will rise again.
It's pretty well written. Pretty well written, I must say.
Do what you must to
Moments of
save
levity
the
to counterbalance the
world,
pathos.
hero.
Exactly. I believe we are prepared for our guests to arrive.
The Dragonflights will rise again.
Preparations are now complete. Kalikos and Alexstrasza should be here soon with the remaining essences of Sindragosa and Malygos. Both suffered such violent ends. I heard even with his last breath, Malygos cursed Alexstrasza. And Sindragosa, she was slain 10,000 years ago by Deathwing. Yet she was reanimated by the Lich King and slain by adventurers. I can only imagine the state this essence is in. Forgive my ramblings. Kalikos and Alexstrasza should be here shortly. Yeah, him being a troll and also one of the oldest dragons makes sense. Yeah, considering trolls are one of the oldest
great
races.
Power within you.
Dildoing to see slain by name change.
Greetings, Kaligos. And to you, Lifebinder.
Ah, Senegos. I saw the remnants of your arcane ball. I am heartened to see you have not forgotten your old ways. Kaligos.
Agreed, Dracaris.
You may do the honors
Agreed.
to lay the essences of Malygos and Sindragosa to rest.
Thank you. Sindragosa, Malygos, I am sorry it took us so long to give you this peace. May you have the rest now you were robbed of in life.
I love Kalik. He's my favorite dragon. Yeah.
How can I help?
It's time to return to the archives.
Good luck.
Come closer, little one. My eyes are not what they used.
Watch yourselves. The essences seem to be emitting some strange arcane energy.
It was not uncommon for powerful blue dragons to have their memories reanimate in this way, once they were put to rest. Stelagosa and I can investigate this. I believe you have more of our kind to locate, correct?
That's interesting. I wasn't expecting that.
The blue
Memories of Sindragosa and Malygos. I admit I forgot about this phenomenon.
Glory.
Blue dragons who meet violent ends occasionally have some lingering arcane energy. That's most of them. That energy may manifest in various ways once their essences are laid to rest. Luckily, it is a simple enough process to dispel them. Simply wave anything through the energy and it will dissipate. I shall investigate the essences of Sindragosa and Malygos within this gravestone while you handle that.
How strange. Are these remnants from Malygos and Sindragosa's past?
It would seem so. It appears they were unable to truly depart from this world when they were slain.
I saw many strange phenomena such as this, when I laid to rest the blue dragons that made it back here from Neltharion's betrayal.
It was a tragedy that so many were killed, including Sindragosa. Even then, the Lich King allowed her no rest. It pained me to see her raised into undeath.
I could not believe it when word reached my brood of what happened to her. It is a small blessing that she did not linger for long in such a state.
Sindragosa and Malygos both deserved better. I hope now we have given them their proper rest.
The Titans have wrought so much suffering. As you look at the figure, the memories associated with it flood into your mind as if they were your own. You are risen from the dead. There is a figure, the Lich King. He knows your name is Sindragosa. You are bound to his will. The once vibrant personality you had is gone, replaced with hatred and bitterness. Hatred towards Malygos, who abandoned you. Bitterness towards the world that betrayed you. Is this what you've become? Where does the Lich King's will end and Sindragosa's begin? Swing your weapon to dismiss the image. The memory does not go away, and instead more flashes fill your mind. Abominations testing your strength, torturing you, preparing you to fight the enemies of the Lich King. Adventurers surrounding you, wielding their pathetic magics against your might. You are eventually destroyed, but not fully. Your essence was entrapped within crystalline form and handed to one named Calicos. You scream in fury. They believe you are at peace. They do not know you are stranded. Once again, no one is coming to save you. You are trapped for eternity inside this crystal. Just as you believe the memories end, it begins again, rising from the dead, full of hatred. Use your full force to cast aside the memory. You see the image of Neltharion, the former Black Dragon aspect. Memories begin to flash as if it were your own. You were suspicious of Neltharion. Malygos trusted him. They fought Galakrond together. Together, they saved Azeroth. Who were you to go against that? You put aside your suspicions. It was paranoia to believe an aspect would become corrupted. And yet it happened. You cursed yourself when the fighting began. You should have taken a stand. You could have stopped this. This all happened because of your inaction. Sindragosa, the Azure Queen, would be no more. Swing your weapon to dismiss the image. The image stubbornly refuses to be dispelled. Instead, more images appear in your mind. You are gravely wounded. Before you lost your sight, you saw the blue dragons wiped out in an instant. You are flung into the cold reaches of Northrend, far from your home in the Azure Archives, far from your intended resting place in the Veiled Ossuary. Perhaps you could reach Dragonflight, find your rest there. You call out for your love, Malygos, but he doesn't answer. You realize there will be no rest. You are alone. Love for the world of mortals is replaced with hatred before everything fades. You feel memories begin to seep into the corners of your mind. It feels as if they were your very own. Cast out from your fellow aspects, the great Malygos left alone to protect Azeroth from mortals. The others do not understand what you've been through. You were at the forefront against Neltharion. You lost everything. Sindragosa, your flight, your very mind. Yet you still sought to save Azeroth from itself. And for that, your once beloved sister helped lead a band of adventurers to slay you. The story sounds familiar. The image does not vanish, but instead fills your mind with more images. A battle. Destruction of your very self. The sadness of your fellow aspects at your death. Yet, a small part survived. They called it the Heart of Magic. They did not know it still contained the last of your essence. You feel regret seeing the faces of those you once loved. Perhaps you were the one who betrayed them. You do not have long to dwell on this as the memories return to violence. Death, destruction, torment. That is all you know now, and there is no escape. The mortals and aspects must pay for their actions. Hopeful Dynamis, thanks for the Prime sub. When does that series start? That comes down to how fast my editor is doing it. I don't think we have a date exactly yet. That's why it's a teaser, I think. I don't know. Boom. Jay says soon. Soon, TM.
I believe we can help each other.
That should do it. Though it is odd not all the memories were dispelled as quickly as I had hoped. Let us speak with Calicos to let him know we should keep an eye on this.
May the wisdom of the Titans.
It's not unusual that Malygos and Sindragosa would have such powerful memories. From what I understand, their deaths were particularly painful. Yep. Both slain by adventurers. It breaks my heart to think of Sindragosa enduring death not once, but twice after being raised by the Lich King. But enough of this old dragon's ramblings. Stellagosa and I will meet you back at the Azure Archives.
The Dragonflights will rise again.
Yeah, this is a very, very somber questline. It's not exactly the happiest of questlines, but it's very meaningful, and I think it does well to encapsulate the suffering of the Blue Dragonflight and the perspective of Malygos and Sindragosa. I think it's very rare. I think it's very rare that you get that kind of first-person perspective of what they were going through, and I think the way that it's written to kind of put the reader in the perspective of the individual, I think is very, very valuable. I think it's a good way to connect what going through that would really be like. No, but this expansion is all child cartoon and Disney, Pyro. That's what people on Twitter tell me. People on Twitter also skip cutscenes and don't read dialogue, so who gives a fuck what they think?
There's magic in everything.
Thank you for your help, Dildo Wing. As you can see, more blue dragons have arrived, yet some are still missing. We cannot forget about them. I will also ensure we find out more information about this strange phenomenon with Malygos and Sindragosa's memories.
Their skies.
Many blue dragons have returned, and many others have informed me of their plans to make their way to the Isles. There are a few key members of the flight, however, that I have not heard from. One of them may be able to help. Azurgos, stationed within the Nexus in Northrend. You, myself, and Sindragosa will travel to meet Azurgos. He's ignored all of my attempts to contact him from afar. Thanks to the Oathstone being empowered, Sindragosa can now travel further than ever before.
I am quite curious to meet this Azurgos after all you have told me about him.
He would have been a boon had he answered our original call for aid.
This is all your fault, isn't it, Calicos? It's absolute chaos here, and you just happen to show up to make things worse.
Azurgos, you shall cease this behavior at once. Show respect to your aspect, and inform us of the situation you find yourself in.
Yeah, bitch.
Lady Sindragosa?
You got some shit to say now, Azurgos?
You.
What do you want? I had plenty to keep me busy in the Nexus before any of this. Or all of this. Can you tell me more about the Nexus? What have you found here? Wouldn't you like to know? This was formerly Malagos's domain. It's filled with magic that he discovered, much during his state of madness. Now I'm in charge of the place. It's not safe to allow any random mortal to walk in and take what's in there. That's all you'll get from me. My research and what I have found within are my own business.
So soon.
Okay.
Pity. Do take care out
Perhaps
there.
Calicos's timing is not as bad as I thought, especially if he has the simulacrum of Lady Sindragosa with him.
My, look at the time.
Of course, I can help track down the missing blue dragons. However, I have a mess on my hands that must be addressed first. Moments ago, several bursts of arcane energy swept through the Nexus, followed by attacks of strange arcane creations. I can create a method of tracking down the blue dragons if you can put down the locations of this wild arcana. Take this staff, do not break it, and use it on 3 locations within the Nexus. Oh, and prepare yourself for a fight.
I apologize, Lady Sindragosa. I did not realize I was in the presence of your simulacrum.
I have heard much of you from Caligos, young Azuragos.
Oh? And how did our mighty aspect describe me?
I told Sindragosa you're a recluse, stubborn, and prone to cutting ties with any who slight you. But I trust you to aid me in being the aspect the blue dragons deserve. I called for your aid in the Azure Span, but you did not answer. I called for you when the Oathstone was activated, but you ignored me. You may never believe in me, but I need you to believe in your flight and help us find the others who are missing.
I will do what I can. Now, do you know what is happening here?
Judging by the remnants here, I believe we're still seeing the after effects of putting Sindragosa and Malagos'
see you too,
essences
Bravo. What's
to
up, dude?
rest. Senegos mentioned this was an uncommon circumstance, but
Thanks.
it appears its effects are more widespread than we thought.
I've done what I can to create a method to find the other blue dragons.
You have my thanks, Azuragos. The arcane disruptions have also calmed down for now, thanks to our friend.
I'm overjoyed to see
Well, things appear much calmer now. I suppose I better investigate how widespread these memories will become.
My, look at the time.
I've crafted a magical globe to help you find the remaining blue dragons. It should give you their rough locations. Now go. On top of everything else I was working on, I must now investigate these memories that attack the Nexus. I shall get to the bottom of it.
Do take care out there.
Thank you again, Azuragos. Keep me informed of anything you find regarding these memories. I must focus my efforts in finding the other blue dragons.
You will be the first to know of how much of a burden you have pushed onto me.
Azuragos, a word of advice, if you would hear me.
Lady Sindragosa, I would be honored to hear your words.
I know why you seclude yourself in the Nexus. You look to break the barriers of our realms, to find the one you once loved. To bring one that belongs in another world, to the world of the living.
I had hoped when the gateway to the Shadowlands opened, I would find a way. But all I have are more questions than answers.
What you wish is impossible, Azuragos. If you continue to search for answers alone, your love will turn to bitter hatred, both for the one you care for, and for the world that refused to give you the answers you seek. Seek aid in your fellow blue dragons. You may never find your answer, but they will help mend your heart.
Thank you, Lady Sindragosa. I shall carry your words with me for the rest of my days.
Gotta be careful. Arcane is just one step away from necromancy. from Surge. Hey. It's like that thing almost that was in the heart chamber.
Well met, my young friend.
Hopefully Adragos will join us later. In the meantime, we have the whole of Azeroth to search.
Keep safe.
Adragos has narrowed down the locations of the missing blue dragons. Each of us will handle finding several of them. I would entrust you to aid us in finding a few others. Choose where you'd like to go first.
Come back soon.
Really? Whoa. Wow. Look at this. Also 3 rings. 1, 2, 3. Let's do... I want to save Theramore, Jade Forest, and Crystal Song for last. Let's do Booty Bathe and Winter Spring. Save Zeros. Blue Dragon and deep in debt in Booty Bay. Reunite with Calicos' old friend Kyriogosa in the Jade Forest. Investigate a cadre of rogue mages in the ruins of Theramore. Join Halle in her artifact work in Winter Spring. Right an ancient wrong in Crystal Song Forest. Let's go there. The Blue Dragon Lanagosa lent her aid to mortals during the most recent war against the Burning Legion. However, she failed to respond to the call of her ally, call of the Isles. Has something befallen her, or has she simply chosen not to return? Whatever her reasons, Adragos' globe seems to suggest that she was last seen in Crystal Song Forest.
This world is full.
Lanagosa has always been cordial with me. I hope she's alright.
Together, we can achieve.
I have some idea of what Lanagosa might be doing in Crystal Song Forest, although I cannot imagine why she has taken it upon herself to do it. That forest conceals within it the ruins of Shandaral, a former highborn settlement, and the site of one of the mortal race's first clashes with the Blue Dragonflight. If Lanagosa truly is in Crystal Song Forest, then it may well have something to do with Shandaral. Seek her out there, and try to convince her to return to us.
Fly true. Crystal Song's arcane corruption makes it difficult to ground a portal, but I should be able to get you close. Best of luck, my friend. Give Lanagosa my regards, and tell her she is dearly missed here.